My name is Andrea, and welcome back if you tuned in last time, and thanks for dropping in if this is your first time to the site. Question: do you ever think about what you think about? How do you react when someone asks, "What are you thinking?" Is your thinking causing you problems? Maybe you've never given any thought to your thoughts. Maybe you'd say, "Andrea, are you kidding me? I don't have time to think about what I'm thinking about." Whatever your particular answer, one thing is for sure: like breathing, we're always thinking. So it's worth taking some time to explore that question. Do you ever think about what you think about? With that in mind, I've dubbed today's episode, My Thoughts, Friend or Foe. You may have heard that your words are powerful. Words can build you up, encourage you, or make your day. Words can also cause you grief, discourage you, or shatter your hopes and dreams. But let's back it up a step. Before your words are spoken, they likely start as a thought, and one reflects the other. What do I mean by that? Well, your thoughts can color what you say, and what you say may color your thoughts. I like word pictures. Try to think of your words and thoughts as part of a Ferris wheel, creating a continuous loop, one after the other. Some of you may feel like once the ride starts, it's hard to stop and out of your control. Do you ever feel like shouting, "Stop the ride, I want to get off"? But take heart, you don't have to get stuck on that Ferris wheel. You can break the cycle. So maybe you do need to start paying more attention to your thoughts. A good place to begin is to become more aware of them. You can't change something if you're not aware of it. And keep in mind, only changing what you say may help in the short term, but if you don't change your thoughts and get to the root of the problem, well, don't be surprised if you find yourself back on that Ferris wheel. So let's start with talking about thinking styles. First off, let's put it out there that some of your thoughts are helpful and some of them are unhelpful. Ask yourself, do I make judgmental or critical comments? Am I inflexible in my thinking, seeing things as either all or nothing, a success or a failure? Do I tend to only see the negative side of things? Am I a what-if thinker, coming up with the worst-case scenarios and seeing disaster as the only outcome? If so, then you, my friend, have a problem with cognitive distortions. Say what? Cognitive distortions are also known as unhelpful thinking styles. These are ways of thinking that convince your mind that something is true that really isn't true. They are thoughts that are inaccurate, incomplete, and unbalanced. Unhelpful thinking can become a habit, something you may not even know you're doing. Over time, these patterns of thinking can leave you feeling stuck, sad, discouraged, and frustrated. Unhelpful thinking can affect more than just your thoughts. It can also wreak havoc with your emotions and behavior. They're all connected. Remember the Ferris wheel? Hey, we all have unhelpful patterns of thinking. You're not the only one. My style of choice is mind reading. We'll get to that in a moment. Deciding to change your thoughts can be challenging. Why? Well, like I said earlier, our thinking patterns can become a habit, and habits are tough to break. Have you ever tried to stop smoking, start an exercise program, or spend less time watching TV? You get the picture. The good news is that even though making changes in your thinking can be a challenge, it doesn't mean it's impossible. You may be wondering, what can I do? How do I deal with unhelpful thinking? That's a great question. Many of the problems we have with our way of thinking can fall into 10 styles. Today, let's look at 5 of them as a step towards better awareness. Number 1, all or nothing thinking. This is one about thinking in extremes. You may also know it as black and white or perfectionistic thinking. Here are some examples. I'll never be in a healthy relationship. I always lose out on promotions at work. My friends are never there for me. This kind of thinking is unrealistic because most of the time things aren't 100% one way or the other, but rather fall somewhere in between the two extremes. If you are an all-or-nothing thinker, you may find it challenging to be flexible in your thinking. This might lead to not trying new things, not to incorporate other ways of seeing things, and it may create anxiety. Number 2, negative mental filtering. The great joy zapper. This is when you only remember negative events and filter out the positives. Here's some examples. Nothing good happened to me this week. My life is worthless if I'm not in a relationship. Going to that party was a waste of time. This kind of thinking can set you on that downward spiral and increase feelings of anxiety, sadness, and depression. Number 3, overgeneralization. This is when you take one negative characteristic or event and then apply that conclusion across the board. Here are some examples. I don't think I can ever trust anyone again. That cake was a flop. I'm a terrible baker. I can't believe that relationship ended. I'm done with dating. You may find you end up missing out on opportunities in life because overgeneralizing has limited your options. Number 4, should statements. This is when you tell yourself you should or must do something. This kind of thinking makes you feel forced to do things. It carries a feeling of judgment of yourself or others. For examples would be, I should just be the best. I must never let others know how I feel. This shouldn't have happened to me. Should statements can often live hand in hand with high and sometimes unrealistic expectations. This style of thinking may make you feel disappointed, discouraged, or like you've let other people down when you can't live up to your should statement. Number 5, mind reading. Mind reading, that superpower a lot of us think we have. This is when you think you know what others are thinking. Some examples might include, I can't tell others how I feel because they'll think I'm crazy. My colleagues think I'm boring. There's no sense talking to them. My wife seems upset today. I must have done something to upset her. This type of thinking can create a lot of misunderstandings because you're basing your thoughts on assumptions and not facts. Well, there you go. As promised, 5 types of unhelpful thinking styles. Drop in again and I'll have 5 more for you to consider. And remember, the purpose is to help you become more aware of your thoughts. That's the first step in changing them. Change can be hard, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Consider it a challenge. Challenges can provide opportunities to make a difference. Come on, together we can learn to live life well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.